Guten Erev Shabbos. We're getting ready for another special Shabbos. This week is really special and unique because we read the Ten Commandments, which is the most monumental of all the portions, because the Ten Commandments literally changed Judaism and the entire world with the Torah and the values of monotheism and morals and ethics that Judaism gifted to this world. But I wanted to speak about Jethro again. So we all know that Jethro is mentioned in the beginning of the Torah portion. In fact, the Torah portion is named after Jethro. And he comes with his advice. He comes after he hears the miraculous splitting of the sea and the exodus of Egypt, the giving of the Torah, depending on which opinion you go according to. And then he comes to the desert. And he watches Moses, the greatest Jewish leader, dealing with a huge community. There were over 1 million people. And Moses is tending to their questions, to their needs. And Moses gets up early in the morning and stands all day, and people are waiting for him. And Moses gives them the advice they need. And Jethro realizes that this can't be a good way. And he tells Moses, Lo Tov, this is not the right, correct way where you're doing it all alone. You need to get help. You need to have, so to speak, a pyramid of where people come to when they have a question, and ultimately only if it can't get answered it comes to you. But ironically, there's only twice in the entire Bible that the words Lo Tov are mentioned. One time is in this week's Torah portion with Jethro. Lo Tov means it's not good. And the second time is in Genesis, when Adam is created and he's alone. And God says, Lo Tov hayota Adam levado. It's not good for man to be alone. I will create a wife, a spouse, a partner for him in his life. So the only two times in the entire Bible that it says the word Lo Tov, which is not good, is A, when it speaks about man being alone, and here when it speaks about Moses leading the Jewish people alone without the help that he needs. And the message is, of course, very clear. The Torah is telling us the power of unity and the challenge and the danger of loneliness, if it's without a spouse or if it's without help in leading and nurturing the flock you have. You know, you look around the world and 25% of humans say they're lonely at some sort of time or another. In fact, in England, they made a loneliness czar who dealt with loneliness. You look at sometimes teens and they tell you how lonely they are. And the Torah is saying, Lo Tov, the most powerful and great thing we have is not to be alone, is to have a partner, is to have friends, is to have community. And that's the story with the Jewish people. And you know what? It's really what's happened since October 7th. When we realized, in a certain sense, how alone we were in the world, that we cherished and embraced and hugged each other, because we realized that what we do have is the most powerful, courageous Jewish community. Soldiers, just regular people, leaders who are so powerful, and this unity is so amazing. And not only the unity in that sense, but we've also realized that we need allies. And if the allies we had failed us, then we need to receive allies like Jethro, allies who are ready to speak up for the Jewish community and really to make sure that we're not alone. Because ultimately, as the Torah says, Lo Tov, it's not good. There's one other thing in this week's Torah portion that connects to that. When the Jews get the Torah, it says, Vayichan Shom Yisrael neged hahar. They rested there at the foot of the mountain. Now, in Hebrew, as opposed to English, there's the way you say things singular and plural. And the question is, why does it say Vayichan in the singular if the whole Jewish nation dwelt together? And what does Rashi say from the Talmud? The Vayichan Shom Yisrael was ki ish echad b'leiv echad. They dwelt like one united people and nation. And that's why they merited to receive the Torah. How, when the hostages were released, especially the 5 from the observation tower, they realized that these young women were in captivity for 450 days, that they needed new clothing. They didn't have any clothing. So there was a mall in Israel that closed the entire mall for 3 hours and allowed just the 5 hostages to go shop. Why did they close the mall? Because they realized that if they would come when people were there, everyone would be hugging them and embracing them and wanting to talk to them and wanting to get a picture with them because they're heroes in the nation and we're like one family. The unity is so powerful. But they will never be able to shop and they will never be able to get the things that they need done. And therefore, they closed the entire mall, one of the largest malls in Israel, for 3 hours. So these 5 hostages could shop alone. Think about the power of the unity, the power of the community that we have. Today, Keith Siegel gave out a video, the American hostage who was released, thanking the President of America and speaking about how much suffering he had in captivity and asking and pleading for the rest of the hostages to see these young people, these older people come out after such trauma and all they think is about somebody else, to see what the mall did, to see what Israel's done. That's the unity. And as the Torah says, lo tov, it's not good to be alone. It's not good to be without community. And at the end of the day, we have to remember that. And that's why a community like Chabad at Chestnut Hill is so important, because more than just the spirituality, it brings us together, not to be alone, to celebrate, to come together in love and in caring for each other. God bless you. Shabbat shalom.